Boy, oh boy, who else is so glad and excited that we had this honest and fair, truthful election with Joe Biden as our president-elect, as we all rightfully know so. This has just been such a great time for our election process and communities around the globe. Is YouTube gone? Alright, good. I think they're gone now. So we can talk about the real news now that they're not watching over our shoulders. But before this video begins, consider smashing the subscribe button, leave a like, a comment, and now back to the video. So here we have 18 states join Texas case seeking to overturn Biden win. Now that's what we're talking about. We need people hopping into the fight, trying to do my part the best I can. And as far as I've figured out, there are only 6 actually confirmed on it. However, the other ones are working their way towards it. I'm not positive about that, but I'm pretty sure that that is the case. Only 6 are confirmed to have been on it at the moment. But I could be wrong. They say 18 states have joined Texas in its lawsuit that seeks to halt presidential electors in 4 battleground states from casting their votes for President-elect Joe Biden. And later in the video, we will have the rebuttals. And let me tell you, they are just abysmal. They are nearly comical in their statements, which you would expect from people who just like to live in this alternate reality, as they say we do, where all of these weird inconsistencies, let's call them, not election fraud, this is inconsistencies and impropriety. All these things just magically happen for one side, and Trump is the one who, I don't believe he ever had a single occurrence benefit him. But just a conspiracy theory over here. I digress. Let's continue. It says the attorneys general of 17 states that President Trump won filed an amicus brief on Wednesday. Those states are Missouri, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, and West Virginia. My God, that's a history lesson and a half right there for you guys. But if you didn't notice, there is one state very near and dear to my heart that is not on this list. You may be able to guess it. Ohio. What are you doing? What are you doing, Ohio? Don't make me leave you. I thought we had this good relationship. I thought that I really brought things to light for the AG of my state. But I'm going to have another talking to him on Twitter. See what I can do. Now, aside from this news, there is also a separate development that I had not expected at all. I'd been waiting all day just to see what the actual results would be. I wanted to hear their rebuttal. The other states that are being sued rebuttal. However, something else happened that I saw in the news that I thought was pretty exciting. Here we have 100 House Republicans sign brief backing Texas lawsuit challenging election results. What? I did not expect this at all. And man, finally, the Republicans that didn't sign this, I'm telling you, write their names down because they need out of office. They're the spineless ones that we don't want in power. We need people who are willing to fight for our liberties, as their job and office is supposed to be for. They don't. If you're just gonna sit there and allow whatever happens to happen, and people can just roll right over you as if you're just a little pile of dust on the floor, you don't deserve your position and power. And you should either step down, or like I said, write their names down. Nothing hostile here. You know, I'm not Cynthia Johnson out here trying to get people. Well, having soldiers rise up. I'm just saying, keep note so that we know who is willing to fight for our freedoms and fight for the things that make this country great. It says more than 100 House Republicans on Thursday signed an amicus brief in support of the Texas lawsuit aimed at overturning the election results in 4 swing states, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, that handed Democrat Joe Biden the White House. I would definitely make a sort of snide comment to that, but please, YouTube, no. Not now. I'm already too far in the video to shut me down. It says here, this brief presents our concern as members of Congress, shared by untold millions of their constituents, that the unconstitutional, he's throwing me for a loop here, irregularities involved in the 2020 presidential election cast doubt upon its outcome and the integrity of the American system of elections, states the brief signed by 106 GOP lawmakers. The Admiral salute, the highest form of respect across the entire land. You've earned it, my friends. Everyone else in the video, you gotta wait till the end to get yours. It says here, President Trump called me this morning to let me know how much he appreciates the amicus brief. We are filing on behalf of members of Congress. Indeed, this is the big one. So we have had the Kraken. But as we all know, in the mythos, the Kraken was slain. It was defeated. However, now we have the beanstalk giant, baby. And this one will be the one for the history books. Hopefully in the right direction, as we all hope for. I don't think the beanstalk giant dies. Let me know if he does, because we might need to rename it then. It says other key Republicans who signed the brief include Minority Whip. Yeah, we'll just skip over everyone except for the one that matters, baby. Jim Jordan, that's what I'm talking about. A round of applause for Jim Jordan, representing as always. So it continues to talk on and on. Oh yeah, Ted Cruz is the one who's supposed to bring this in, or supposed to present this in court too. That's a pretty dope finding. See, that's what kind of makes me sort of feel odd about it, because he was supposed to represent the case in Pennsylvania, right? That case gets shut down, and then he is put into this one, a much more important one that puts it all into one, the big one, the beanstalk giant, baby. And I mean, I got some love for Ted Cruz, so I think he does a great job presenting stuff. And while he may not do stuff to tech conglomerates, as I wish that he would, I wish that he would just destroy Facebook, he still roasts them, makes some good memes out of it, you know? They state here, but the last-ditch Hail Mary has divided Republicans on Capitol Hill and in the powerful Texas congressional delegation itself. As I stated previously, if you are the ones not on this list, throw them in the trash. You're gone. You're gone into the trash can to never come back, because you don't have a spine or legs to stand on. You're pretty much just... I don't know, I couldn't think of anything for that. I guess let me know in the comments what would be a good example for these representatives. I forgot to highlight this one, but here we have Representative Chip Roy, Republican, Texas. You see that they do this? R, Texas. So this is a Republican from Texas, obviously. You can put two and two together. But here we have Representative Kay Granger, Texas. There's no D or R, so which one do you think that she would be? Do you think that she would be a Republican or a Democrat? They just don't want to let you know right out in the article, unless you're a Republican then. I think that sort of narrows it down for you guys. But Representative Chip Roy from Texas, a vocal Trump backer, of course, voiced his concerns about the lawsuit on Twitter, opting not to sign on. He says, respectfully, I will not join because I believe the case itself represents a dangerous violation of federalism and sets a precedent to have one state asking federal courts to police the voting procedures of other states, Roy said in a series of tweets. Yet that isn't what it is at all. This is actually one state saying, hey, you kind of screwed us all over by not following your constitutional laws, and it sort of muddies the whole water around the election itself. No one, that affects our states, the outcome, the president. That'll affect how we can proceed. And I love that it's it's Texas's fault for bringing up this lawsuit, as these people made unconstitutional edicts not going through the legislature because they knew it would be rejected. They made these mandates themselves. They ordered them themselves. And they clearly were trying to bypass the system for some nefarious reason. Couldn't imagine why. But I have some speculations. I'll save them for now, though. We'll see how things go. Here we have, of course, the retorts, though, as I promised. So good, so bad at the same time. It almost gives me joy to read them. It says here, battleground states issue blistering rebukes to Texas lawsuit to invalidate millions of votes. Each of the 4 battleground states targeted by Texas assault or lawsuit. See, that's the mind game with their wording here. That's how they do it every time. Look, the right's attacking me again. I'm getting threatened and violence everywhere because of the right assaulting me. No. We're literally just going through the legal process to say, hey, you kind of screwed everyone over. Why did you do that? And that's not how things should be. But I digress again. Here we go. Each of the 4 battleground states targeted by a Texas lawsuit seeking to overturn President Donald Trump's election defeat issued blistering briefs at the Supreme Court on Thursday, with Pennsylvania officials going so far as to call the effort a seditious abuse of judicial process. Yes, abuse, see? They're hurting me. What can I do about it? I'm just my own state here. All the time, man. I'm so tired of it. These people acting like they play the mind game of they're the ones who are the aggressors, but then whenever they're like called out for it, it's just always, how could you do this to me? I was so kind and nice to you. No, I'm tired of it. Nancy Pelosi, I'm looking at you. Trust me, I got something coming up special for you. Coming up hot and fast soon. Says here the court filings from Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin come a day after Trump asked the Supreme Court to intervene in the lawsuit brought by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. My good sir, I don't remember if I gave him a salute, but he gets a double salute for bringing it out. The double salute. I don't know if I can hand that one out to anyone else. I'm sorry, guys, seriously. But he gets a double salute. It says seeking to invalidate millions of votes in their state. The lawsuit amounts to an unprecedented request for legal intervention in an election, despite there being no evidence of widespread fraud. Thank you, CNN. Thank you. You were so dumb. Thank you. I'm so glad that they ended that one off with that, because if they would have said something that was actually like the litigation of the suit, it would have made too much sense for them. They had to bring it back to the widespread fraud. They had to, because their brains can't compute anything actually going on. And I love that. I love that they are that dumb. I mean, that's not even what the case is about. It's about the different ways that the states handled their election process unlawfully, not even going through the legislature, not passing it down to anyone below them, just the top people saying, yeah, this looks good. You guys agree with that? As no one else is in the room. All right, approved. And they handed it straight down to the people. It's insane to me. And thank you for bringing that back, because it just shows you that these people, either they're ignorant beyond belief. Actually, it'd be that they're willingly ignorant or really dumb. I think it's kind of a combination. It's hard to say, though. They also state Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel addressed the lawsuit with equally strong language. Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't highlight this part because this is sort of what they said up there. Seditious abuse of the judicial process. So that's Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania attorney. Thank you, Josh Shapiro, for showing your side and your true color. Josh Shapiro in the trash with everyone else. Says here, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel addressed the lawsuit with equally strong language, writing that the election in Michigan is over. Texas comes as a stranger to this matter and should not be heard here. The challenge here is an unprecedented one, without factual foundation or a valid legal basis, Michigan brief said. So, I love that they said with equally strong language. How was that equally strong? This guy said it's a seditious abuse of judicial process, and this person's literally just talking about how that's not, how it shouldn't be a thing. It's like, yes, equally strong and equally dumb. It all comes full circle with these people, kind of like the fact checkers in the back room, just in a big circle fact checking each other all day. But I digress for, I believe, the third time. I gotta keep it short and simple so that YouTube doesn't send me to the Shadowlands. They say Chris Carr, the Attorney General of Georgia, put more emphasis on the federalism implications of Texas lawsuit in his filings. Texas presses a generalized grievance that does not involve the sort of direct state against state controversy required by original jurisdiction. That's so weird because they're claiming that it's such an unprecedented request for legal intervention, but yet they say here, this doesn't involve the sort of direct state against state controversy required for original jurisdiction. So which one is it? Is it not original jurisdiction, or is it something that's unprecedented? That those two literally conflict each other makes no sense at all. But good work. You guys are keeping up the good fight. The fight for what the American people want, not what those from a country that shall not be named, because it doesn't exist and did not influence our election at all. And in no way do they have relations to the Biden family. Well, somewhat. I'll bring that up later too, trust me. I think that's approved for YouTube by now. Funny how after the election, everything's okay. Everything's on the table for Hunter Biden after the election. But before that, you better watch yourself. Video coming on that soon too. Correlates to Nancy Pelosi. Trust me, there's a lot of funny stuff. Stay tuned. Says here, and in any case, there is another forum in which parties who, unlike Texas, have standing can challenge. Yeah, they didn't even say that. That's something that the person added in the while they're typing that. Thanks. Thank you. I needed that. In which parties who have standing can challenge Georgia's compliance with its own election laws, Georgia's own courts. Yes, so when we try that, and the person in charge of the court's just like, no, I won't hear it, no. It's kind of like the monkey here, monkey see, like they cover their ears, and magically your case court doesn't exist. It never happened and doesn't belong in court. It has no factual basis. And these people love to follow that. They love to follow that trail of thought. Please tell me what to think. Not me. You can't tell the Admiral what to think. The Admiral does what he wants and says what he wants. Because I'm a proud patriot of the American country, the greatest country in the world. China, country that I shall not name. We're coming for you, baby. And that'll be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.